A team of forensic experts investigate a 200-year-old mystery. Two skulls preserved in a museum, evidence of a violent encounter with the last of the Red Indians, the Beothuk of Newfoundland. Legends say they were a race of giants, warriors who painted themselves red. Who were they? And why did they vanish? Can modern science help solve a 200-year-old mystery and explain the last days of a lost tribe? In 1827, native guides lead British explorer William Cormack deep into the interior of Newfoundland. Cormack hopes to become the first European to study the Beothuk.
When Cormack went into the country, there still was not a lot known about the Beothuk, and he certainly reckoned with hostile reception.
There was all kinds of apocryphal stories and folklore about them being a race of giants, and there had been all kinds of evidence that, given the right conditions, they could be violent.
Cormack had expected to run into Beothuk in the interior, and he was very disappointed that he did not do that. He was very surprised that there was a huge camp that was obviously very deserted and had not been recently used. This area, which he had been told was a village, was now a cemetery. And while he was searching around, he came to this absolutely extraordinary burial hut. He was totally astonished to see that there was a pine coffin.
Inside the coffin are the remains of a woman dressed in English clothes. Beside her, the remains of a man and an infant child. Who were they? Why was an English coffin inside a Beothuk burial hut?
And it was one of his guides who told him that he knew who they were, and the story started 8 years earlier, right on the spot.
It began as a peace mission. 10 men head into the interior of Newfoundland. Their leader is 26-year-old John Peyton Jr. He is the local justice of the peace. The British governor has sent him to capture a Beothuk.
There was a notion all through the history of European settlement in Newfoundland of capturing a Beothuk as a way of making peace with the group. The notion was they'd bring them in, show them that they meant well, send them off with gifts, and then everything would be fine.
For 300 years, Since the British first landed in Newfoundland, the Beothuk have refused to make contact. They are a mystery, known only for their strange custom of painting themselves red.
The name Redskin that's been used in movies down through the years originated with the Beothuks of Newfoundland because they were the first natives that white men encountered, and they had red skin, so the white men thought.
And at some point they decided they wanted nothing to do with the Europeans. And their way of dealing with their arrival was to leave the areas where the Europeans were setting up. The Beothuk once used almost the entire coastline of Newfoundland, and they just started disappearing from areas where the Europeans were coming in.
After 3 centuries of European settlement, the Beothuk are on the verge of extinction. Only one band remains, their village hidden deep in the island's interior, a place called Red Indian Lake.